Listen here, since the date of additional capital introduced is not given, the interest on additional capital is calculated for an average period of 6 months. So out of 12 months we have to take average period of 6 months. Okay, if they didn't mention any period, they only given during the year. If you see the word during the year, you have to take the average period, that means 6 months, to calculate the interest on capital. Okay, and then what they asked, calculate interest on capital at 6% per annum for the year ending 31st March 2019. So which period we are going to calculate the interest on capital? 31st March 2019. Okay, and apart from that interest on capital, we are going to pass the journal entries for interest on capital. Okay, so what we have to do, we are going to calculate interest for capital and additional capital for Prakash and Supriya. Okay, two capital, we are going to calculate interest for two capital, that is opening capital and additional capital for Prakash and Supriya. Okay, let's find out, calculate the interest on capital. We have to write the heading. Okay, we should write the heading, that is calculation of interest on capital. This is the heading. Okay, then now we are going to prepare Prakash interest. Okay, so interest on capital for Prakash, the opening capital for 1 year. How will you take 1 year? Listen here, in the question they have Prakash introduced opening capital 3 lakh rupees on 1st April 2018. So we have to take from 1st April 2018 to 31st March 2019. So 1st April means that April month fully, 1 means April month fully, 31st March means March month fully. From April, 1st April 2018 to 31st March 2019 we have 1 year. Okay, so for that 1 year we are going to calculate the opening capital for Prakash. So what's the format to find out the interest on capital? So first we have to write the format to find out the interest on capital. Interest on capital equal to amount of capital into rate of interest. The amount of capital is 3 lakh rupees. Rate of interest is 6% per annum, means 6% means 6 by 100. Now we have to cancel it. This 20 is to be cancelled for this 20. Remaining 3000 into 600, 6. So 3 6 are 18. This 30 is to be here. So 18,000 rupees interest on capital, opening capital. And additional capital introduced, listen, Prakash introduced additional capital on 1st July 2018. How many rupees? 60,000 rupees. So the period is very, very important, on 1st July 2018. So we have to calculate from 1st July 2018 to 31st March 2019. So how many months? We have to take first July 1 means July month fully. 31st March means March month fully. Okay, so from July to March, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, totally 9 months. So 1st July to March, totally 9 months. So we have to write the interest of the period. So the amount of capital is, amount of capital 60,000 rupees, additional capital 60,000 rupees, rate of interest is 6%, means 6 by 100 into interest on period. Okay, 9 months out of 12. Okay, so now we are going to cancel it. So now cancel it. 1 6 6 6, 2 6 are 12. Okay, then 1 2 is 2, 3 2s are 6. This 20 is to be cancelled, this 20. Remaining we have this 20, we have to enter here. Okay, carry it. Okay, so 300 into 9, right? Then 3 9s are 27. This 20 is to be right here. Okay, so totally 2,700 rupees interest on additional capital. Okay, so interest on additional capital for Prakash is 2,700 rupees. Now we are going to calculate total interest on capital. So for that we have to add opening capital interest and additional capital interest. 18,000 plus 2,700, we get 20,700 rupees. This is the total interest on capital for Prakash. Okay. So we calculated Prakash opening capital and Prakash additional capital interest. Okay, we calculated interest on opening capital and additional capital for Prakash. Now we are going to calculate interest for opening capital and additional capital for Supriya. Okay, so we have to take the interest on capital for Supriya. Opening capital for Supriya is 2 lakh rupees. What's the format? Amount of capital into rate of interest, right? So Supriya's amount of capital is, opening capital is 2 lakh rupees. Rate of interest is 6%. So 2 lakh into 6%. So now we have to cancel it. This 20 is to be cancelled for this 0. Remaining 2,000 into 6. Okay, 2 6 are 18. This 230 is to be here. 18,000 rupees. So Supriya's interest on capital is, 2 6 are 12. Okay, 2 6 are 12. So Supriya's interest on capital, opening capital is 12,000 rupees. Now we are going to calculate additional interest on additional capital for Supriya. Okay, so Supriya introduced additional capital 30,000 during the year. So 30,000 additional capital is 30,000 rupees into rate of interest is 6 by 100. They have given here during the year. If they given here during the year, we have to calculate the interest on period is average period. That is, out of 12 months, 6 months is the average period. So 6 by 12. Now we have to cancel it. So listen, 1 6 is 6, 2 6 are 12, 1 2 is 2, 3 2s are 6, 2 0 is to be cancelled. This 2 0. Remaining 300 into 3. 3 3s are 9. This 2 0 is to be here. Okay. So 900 rupees interest for additional capital. Okay. So now we have to add on interest for opening capital and additional capital. So 12,000 plus 900. We have 12,900 for total interest on capital for Supriya's. Okay. Now we are going to pass the journal entries for interest on capital. Supriya's interest on capital and Prakash interest on capital. What is the format for interest on capital in journal entry? Listen, we have the capital. Where is capital appears on journal entry? It is on credit side. So on debit side, interest on capital. Okay. So dated on, we have to take the dated on 31st March 2019. They ask the journal entry to show the journal entry for this date at the year ending 31st March 2019. So on date column, you know the journal entries format, date, particulars, LF, debit and rupees. On date column, dated on 2019 March 31. Interest on capital account data to capital account, right? Whose capital account? Partners, respective partners capital account. Okay, capital account or current account, both are same. Okay, so interest on capital account data, we have to add both partners interest on capital. So Prakash received 20,700 interest from his capital and additional capital, and Supriya received interest from additional capital and capital for 12,900. We have to add both interest on capital. We will get 33,600 rupees. So interest on capital account at 33,600 to Prakash current capital account 20,700 and Supriya's current account is 12,900 rupees. We should write the narration. Okay, interest on capital provided. If we not write the narration, you will lose the mark of 1 mark. Okay, then we have to give the transfer entry for the interest on capital. We have to close the interest on capital. So for that, you have to write the transfer entry for the interest on capital. Where is interest on capital? It is on debit side. So for closing entry or for transfer entry, it is to be credited. So on credit side to interest on capital. So what we have to write on debit side? Profit and loss account appropriation account debtor. We have to write the same date. Okay. So interest on capital amount how much? 33,600 rupees. Okay. So interest on capital closed. Do you have any doubt? Please comment it on the comment box. Thank you. Take care. Please subscribe my channel.